think about all of the things you can do in 12 hours. According to 12hourenergy.com, you can listen to Journey's song, Don't Stop Believing, 172.8 times. I can tell you from personal experience that you can also see all of the major sites in Paris in 12 hours. While running around Paris, 12 hours did not seem like a very long time, but on the flight to Paris, it seemed like forever. When I was little, we always measured how long a trip would take by how many Full House episodes you could watch on the way there. On a 12-hour flight, you could watch 24 Full House episodes. Now, that's the entire 8th season, and I know that nobody wants to do that, so I'm here to tell you how to survive a 12-hour flight. The first thing you're going to need to do is prepare. I'm not going to talk about how to pack your checked luggage because if you're going to Mexico, you're going to pack way different than you are if you're going to go to Alaska. So obviously that's going to vary a lot. The first thing you need to do is get what you're going to take on board. I suggest taking a backpack and putting a carrying case in it like this because you can put it under the seat in front of you and it doesn't take up too much leg room. The first thing that you're going to need to pack is your entertainment things. This can be your phone or an iPad. I suggest taking books. It's the perfect time to read because how often do you just get to sit down for hours and do nothing? So it's a really good time to read books that you've been wanting to read. And I would also suggest taking magazines because they're easy to look at and they don't take a long time. And you can also do the little games in them. And with the magazines, you also want to take a pen because this is going to come in handy for that. And the in-flight magazines that they give you, as well as filling out visa forms because all 12-hour flights are international, and you'll have to fill out a visa to get into the country. So the next thing you're going to want to pack is snacks. International flights have horrible food. If you've been on one, you know. The only good food I've ever had on an international flight was an American Airlines flight from Paris to Chicago, and it was around lunchtime. They gave us cheese pizza. It was kind of gross, but it was the best thing that I've ever had on a plane, so I'll go with it. What I would suggest taking is things that are easy to pack and easy to eat. I usually take goldfish, pretzels, Rice Krispie treats. You don't want things that smell bad because the people around you aren't going to like that, and you also need to be careful about people having allergies around you because that can cause issues as well. The next thing you're going to need to do is pack the in-flight necessities. Almost all international flights, I have a couple different examples, will give you a little kit like this. It has a toothbrush and toothpaste, chapstick, earplugs, an eye mask, and compression socks. So obviously those things they're provided in each one of these. Those are given to you so you don't have to pack them, but you're also going to want lotion because flights are super dry and you don't want your skin to get dried out. Face wash, and then deodorant because international flights always smell bad and you want to make sure that you don't smell bad as well. And obviously with all the diseases and stuff going around lately, you're going to want to take hand sanitizer. And I also suggest taking Clorox wipes and wiping off the table in front of you because, they clean, but if you see the time when the plane lands and when you board, it's not long enough to really clean very well. And the last thing you need to do in preparation is to get dressed for how you want to dress on the plane. For girls, I suggest wearing like a long tunic and leggings or a maxi skirt because you want to be super comfortable, but you don't want to look sloppy because in different countries there's different standards of how you need to look, and you don't want to walk off the plane in pajama pants and people look at you like you're stupid. So just make sure that you're comfortable. And I would also suggest wearing a scarf like this because you can use it as a blanket later on in the flight. For boys, I would suggest wearing cargo shorts and a shirt that has a pocket in it. That way you can keep your passport and all the things that you need close to you because you're probably not going to be carrying a purse. So now it's time for your flight. I would suggest getting to the airport at least 3 hours in advance. You want to make sure you have time to check in and get your get your luggage checked. Once you get there, you also need to buy a few things in your terminal. Obviously, things at airports are always priced a lot higher than things normally. But you need to buy water. I have gotten dehydrated on a flight before, and it is not fun. So I always buy 2 water bottles now whenever I get on the plane. The plane that I was on that I got dehydrated on actually ran out of water bottles. So you want to make sure you have plenty to keep you hydrated. The other thing you're going to want to buy is some kind of fresh food. I usually buy like the little containers of grapes and apples. That way when you're on your flight, you're not just having like your goldfish or whatever. It's something that's going to give you a little bit more energy. The next thing you're going to want to do is take a walk around the terminal that you're in. when you get on your flight, you're going to be in a really tight space for a really long time, and so you want to make sure you're all loose and stretched out. And the final thing you want to do before getting on your flight is go to the bathroom. The in-flight bathrooms are really small and really kind of gross, so make sure you get that out of the way before you get on. So finally, you're gonna board your flight. The first thing you're gonna want to do is look in the magazine because it's gonna have an in-flight menu. This will tell you how many snacks you're gonna want out, and so you can take your little bag and put the snacks that you want and the activities that you want in there. So now you're gonna take off. The first thing that I suggest doing is watching a show or a movie on the little screen that they give you that you're comfortable with. This will help you get comfortable with the plane, and you feel more at home because you're watching something that you're familiar with and that you like. I would not try to fall asleep until after you have your first meal. Someone that I was on the plane with to Kenya one of the times fell asleep, and the flight attendant, she'd taken a sleeping pill, and the flight attendant was trying to wake her up, and she was like, "What's wrong with this lady?" And we're like, "We don't know." All she had done was taking a sleeping pill, and she was asleep, and the flight attendants will freak out if you don't wake up, so make sure you stay awake for your first meal. And make sure you do eat a little something at the first meal. I always suggest getting the pasta because you never know what the meat is going to be like. So eat a little bit, and then after that, take a little walk, take a sleeping pill, and then try to sleep for as long as you can. Sleeping is the best thing to do on a 12-hour flight because it's the best way to take up time. So if you can't totally fall asleep, just sit there and watch movies and relax because there's nothing else you can really do. Once you wake up, I would suggest either reading a book or your magazine, or just keep watching movies. If you've slept for a while, it's going to really take up a lot of time, and by the time you wake up, your next meal is probably going to be served. So after the next meal is served, you probably will have 4 hours or so left, and that's just like a short little flight. So just keep watching movies or sleeping, and then once you've landed, you're done. So now you guys are ready to all be jet setters. You just need to remember to pack smart and know what you need. Dress comfortably so you're good on the plane. Get to your gate with plenty of time. And get comfortable and know what you're doing on the plane. And just think, once you've landed, you don't have to do it again until you go home.